Hello everyone, and welcome to AMC Lawsuits and Justice, Project Popcorn, the Scheme channel. My name is Ethan, and today is February 26, 2026 at 12:08 p.m. And today we're publishing the last video in the series, which will be video number 28. We left off with video 27 on February 28th, 2023, and today we're going to continue where we left off and conclude the series leading up to March 14th, 2023. And then we'll publish one more video and just go over the exhibits. So let's continue. On March 1st, 2023 at 8:51 p.m., Eddie Gladbach, for those who didn't watch the previous videos, he was in-house attorney. He drafted an email to our CFO, Sean Goodman, and CC'd Aron, Kevin Connor, who was formerly our general counsel, and John Merriweather, who's still employed investor relations, with the subject title, Reference Tracking the Vote. Now, this is a thread that started, I think, February 17th of 2023, and I think it's up to number 6, email number 6 within that thread. So for those who didn't watch the previous videos, we got this exhibit. It's exhibit number 37 from the Daniel Meyer Transmittal Affidavit. You see exhibits 37. And then if you go to the URL, you'll see it's BLBG, which is the name of the law firm. And then you could see the string that comes after it. It's the date that it was submitted, May 4th, 2023. And then the title of the document, Transmittal Affidavit, Daniel Meyer in support of plaintiffs, opening brief. It's on page 920 out of 928. So let's scroll down. And we already went through a couple of the emails. And today we're going to focus on, the March 1st, 8:51 p.m. So this is it. So here you see the author, Eddie Gladbach. Then you see who he's sending it to. Once again, Sean Goodman, Aron, Kevin Connor, John Merriweather. Subject, tracking the vote. And as I stated in the previous video, this is like a template of his email, and he just updates the numbers here with regards to how people voted. So far, this email is reflecting that on March 1st, 104.2 million votes were cast for AMC Common out of the 517 million, which equated to 20.1%. 459.6 million voted out of the 929 million, a little over 929 million, and 49.43 voted so far. And then he gives you the percentage of how they voted. All right. Now we're going to go back to the lawsuit part. So on March 2nd, 2023, the actions brought by Usbaldo Munoz, who's one of the plaintiffs, and Anthony Franchi, and Allegheny, the two cases were consolidated. So each one filed on their own. There was a 2023-215-MTZ, and then there was a 2023-216-MTZ. And those two cases were consolidated. And basically, Usbaldo Munoz, Anthony Franchi, their lawsuit was designed as the operative complaint, meaning the Allegheny lawsuit was not relevant anymore. The operative complaint was Usbaldo Munoz and Anthony Franchi, and we're going to go over that lawsuit in the other playlist. Here, we're just going to talk in general terms about the lawsuit. And all three were appointed as lead plaintiffs. So we had Usbaldo Munoz, Anthony Franchi, and Allegheny as the lead plaintiffs. And the operative complaint was assigned case number, as I stated, 2023-215-MTZ Consolidated. And the law firms that were the lead counsels were Bernowitz, Littlewoods, Berger, and Grossman. That's why when you look at the Daniel Meyer affidavit, the acronym BLBG stands for, as it states right here, Bernstein, Littlewoods, Berger, and Grossman. And then we have Fields, Kupka, Shukarov, and then another law firm, Grant, Eisenhofer, were all appointed lead counsel. And while the operative complaint extolled the virtue of retail stockholders as unlikely heroes banding together and buying massive amounts of AMC stock beginning in January 2021, only Usbaldo Munoz fit that description. So here we have a table we're going to analyze. I mentioned in previous videos, I said Usbaldo owned over 40,000. I misspoke. I guess it was a little more. If I remember, I thought it was 40-something. But Usbaldo Munoz owned 53,787 AMC shares and 3,065 APE units. Allegheny owned 879 common shares and 879 APE units. And Anthony Franchi owned 32, the big 3-2 shares of AMC and 0 APE. Usbaldo Munoz and Anthony Franchi and Allegheny faced very different risks. So let's analyze them. Usbaldo Munoz would suffer enormous losses if the apes converted. According to the discovery documents, he appeared to have exchanged most of his ape dividends into common shares and purchased more common stock on margin. Anthony Franchi purchased his handful of common shares in November of 2022. Now, mind you, ape was the first day it traded was August 22nd, 2022. Now, this guy buys it in November. How is he even involved? How is he part of the class? And he owned 32 shares, and he decided our fate. After AMC created the apes, despite having sworn that he owned shares at the time of the wrongs complained of in his complaint. Then we have Allegheny. Allegheny did not purchase any shares alongside the unlikely heroes. Instead, it sold most of its stake to retail holders during the short squeeze. Furthermore, the ownership documentation submitted by Allegheny had discrepancies that were not fully scrutinized by the Delaware Chancery Court. Specifically, the documentation provided by Allegheny listed under entity, not Allegheny County, as the actual owner of the shares. Allegheny County failed to disclose this relationship in their affidavit, raising serious doubts about whether Allegheny actually owned any shares during the relevant period. Now, on March 2nd, 2023, Judge Morgan Zern entered the scheduling order governing discovery, which set the stage for a preliminary injunction hearing on April 27, 2023. Later that same day, an attorney representing AMC and the AMC board, Kevin Gallagher, effectuated service on lead counsel with AMC and AMC's board first request for production of documents by file and serve. So what that means is, in a lawsuit, there's several stages. The first stage is the pleading, then there's discovery. So they move forward with discovery, and Judge Zern set the schedule. In the next playlist, we're going to go over to further detail. Right now, we're just talking in general terms. So she set the schedule. We'll go over that in the other playlist, the Delaware or Chancery Court playlist. But the key thing is now discovery is moving. And once again, April 27th was the preliminary injunction. For those who don't know what an injunction is, basically both lawsuits, and now they're consolidated, requested that we stop the voting or do not allow the results of the vote to move forward until the plaintiffs are heard. And there's a preliminary injunction because it was put on hold, and that on that day was supposed to be, arguments to have a. Sorry, that was for a preliminary injunction. If they would have won the case, then a complete injunction would have gone through. But anyway, let's move on. So now on March 2nd of 2023 at 1:57 p.m., once again, the same type of email with the same template, except the numbers change. AMC now, we'll go over this part. Now go straight to the source. So we got March 2nd, 1:57. So scroll up. Here it is, March 2nd, 1:57. And the numbers for AMC go to 106 million. APE goes to 462.3. So basically 1.8 million voted, and then 3 million apes voted that day. And then it was tabulated. So that's basically what happened for that day. So let's continue. Now, on March 3rd at 1:03 p.m. Eastern Time, Aron continued to advocate for the yes vote by tweeting out. Let's go to his tweet. Mind you, the timestamp is March 3rd, 1:03. So here we have March 3rd, 1:03 p.m., March 3rd of 2023, and here's his here's his tweet. World leader in corporate governance and responsible investment advice, ISS evaluates companies with a critical eye. Today, it recommended AMC ape holders vote in favor of 3 proposals at our March 14th meeting. Your voting yes for is crucial for AMC to survive and thrive. If you recall a couple of videos prior, Nicole Scordato in her email, I think it's December 6th of 2022, told AMC, you got to move forward with a campaign. And here we go. Aron's with this campaign telling us, vote yes. ISS evaluates companies with a critical eye, and today they said vote yes. On what grounds? There's no reason. He doesn't provide a reason why. And obviously we know what happens now. We're in 2026. We were right. And obviously, as I stated before, they took the playbook from John Merriman with the 3 stocks on NASDAQ, OPGN, AVGR, AGRX. They all crashed. I think a couple of them did multiple reverse splits, and it looks like AMC is scheduled to have one soon. We're trading at what, $1.16? which equates to 11 cents. All right, so let's continue. Now, once again, we're back to Eddie Goldbach email thread. So now on March 3rd, 2023 at 5:47 p.m., Eddie Goldbach gave another update to the guys. And 5:47, here we are, March 3rd, 5:47 p.m. And basically the net difference, AMC, 5.1 million or 5.5 million shares voted. And with APE, 13 million came in. Now, on March 3rd of 2023 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Aron held a meet and greet event at AMC Livonia 20 in Livonia, Michigan, for a special screening of Creed to the Third. That evening, Aron addressed the AMC stockholders that were sitting in the crowd, stating in part. So let's go and let's play it.
It's that simple. Between September of 2020 and June of 2021, we raised $2.2 billion by selling stock to the public. It's called equity. And we put that $2.2 billion in the bank, and we didn't do anything with it other than support our movie theater company, except I spent $28 million to buy a quarter of a gold mine. Which people think I'm nuts. But we're going to make so much money from that investment in the gold mine.
Don't worry, we're crazy too.
Yeah. I so fundamentally believe we will quadruple our investment in that gold mine. It's going to take 2 to 4 years to do it. But I've said publicly, he who laughs last best. And there's going to be a lot of crow eating coming 2, 3, 4 years from now. And I'm not going to be the one who's eating a damn crow. Let me tell you.
So it was a little soft, so I'll read what he said. Between September of 2020 and June 2021, we raised $2.2 billion by selling stock to the public. It's called equity. And we put that $2.2 billion in the bank, and we didn't do anything with it other than support our movie theater company, except I spent $28 million to buy a quarter of a gold mine, which people think I'm nuts, but we're going to make so much money from that investment of that gold mine. Fundamentally, we will quadruple our investment in the gold mine. It's going to take 2 to 4 years, but to do it. But I've said it publicly. He who laughs last laughs best, and that's going to be a lot of crow eating coming 2 to 4 years from now. And I'm not going to be the one eating the damn crow. Then on March 6, 2023, back to the email thread with Eddie Goldbach at 1:48 p.m. Now let's go to it. So once again up. March 6th, 1:48 p.m. And what's the difference? 7 million a little over 6.8 million shares of AMC voted. And then same thing, around 8 million shares voted for APE. And we're back again, March 7th, 2023 at 3:06 p.m. Same thing. Let's scroll up. And now we got to compare. Looks like 15 million voted that day for AMC, and then 23 million voted for APE shares. And then later that evening at 6:26 p.m., Aron tweeted out to AMC stockholders stating, and let's go to the tweet. So once again, 6:26 p.m. Here's March 7th, 2023, 6:26 p.m. He goes, many of you and we are aware that AMC Entertainment has been on the threshold list for 3+ weeks, indicating a number of FTDs. Some of you may be pleased to learn that we've contacted both FINRA and the NYC asking that they both look closely at the trading of our stock. Somehow he never reported back to us what they found. And I doubt that he actually did anything. And then I took some people who tweeted at him. Some people wrote, pandering to your base again? Let's see the letter. Someone wrote, gee, at CEO Aron, we just surprised that you just noticed. Then next, another person. So does that mean that you've stopped lying about the existence of naked shorts and the existence of synthetic AMC shares? Do you have any connection with FTX tokenized AMC shares or knowledge of their prior to FTX collapse? Hashtag voted no. Then another person tweeted at Adam Aron, your action is too late. You as CEO should have acted on the 14th day on the threshold list instead of visiting the cinema. Do you have no sense of urgency? Then another person tweeted, you only said this to get more yes votes. When was the last time you sought or you bought any AMC or APE shares? I'll wait. Then on March 8th of 2023 at 1:37 p.m., Eddie Goldbach once again drafted another email with an update. And let's compare. Here it is, 137, March 8th. And now we have 135.7 AMC shares that voted compared to 133. So 2.4 million APE shares voted that day. And then 511.2, so around 5.7 million shares of APE voted. Now here's the thing that we got to focus on. No, I don't think it's this one, but this one we got to read. He adds more to it, Eddie Goldbach. So he keeps it in the same format and then just adds some notes. He goes, as I told Adam earlier, Vanguard has not submitted their vote yet. Also, the slip in percentage from yesterday is primarily due to a block of votes, 1.8 million of AMC and 1.4 million APE from Morgan Stanley that abstained. So let's look at the number. This is March 9th, 1:33 p.m. Once again, March 9th, 1:33 p.m. And if you compare 143, and he's analyzing the slip relative to the percentage and how it's voting. All right, so let's continue. And then once again, it's the same format, and he adds some notes. He goes, while still overwhelming in favor, the late vote is coming in at a lower favorable rate than the earlier vote. It still does not appear that Vanguard has voted based on D.F. King's review of results. And this is March 10th, 2023, 2:36 p.m. Let's go up. And here it is. While still overwhelming in favor, the late vote. And you can look at it. So we'll move a little quicker. And now we go back to the lawsuit. So on March 10th of 2023, Kevin Gallagher effectuated service on the lead counsel with AMC, Adam Aron, and AMC's board's objection and responses to their first request for production of documents. This was done via file and serve. And we'll go over this document once again in the other playlist. I just wanted to give people a heads up that the lawsuit was moving forward as, the vote was happening and things were happening behind the scene. Now, on March 13th, 2023, Adam Aron and the AMC board filed a placeholder for a possible motion to dismiss with prejudice in the consolidated action. So what that means is they put a placeholder just to reserve it, because if they didn't do it, then they wouldn't have an opportunity to file a motion to dismiss. And they never briefed this motion. And what this motion was, they were going to file a motion to dismiss saying that statute of limitation ran out, or they didn't have a cause of action, or something to that effect. So let's continue. On March 13th, 2023, once again, Eddie Goldbach drafted another email. And this time, he writes it to the same people, and he writes, tracking the vote and incorporating an image named image001.ping and an Excel sheet named special meeting preliminary vote March 13, 2023. He goes, updated preliminary voting results, and we'll read it straight from the source. So we're going to look for a timestamp of March 13, 2023, 5:47. And here it is, March 13, 5:07, right? No, 5:47. 5:47? Wait a minute, what did I do here? This is a typo. Based on where? Yeah, it's a typo. It should be 5:07. All right. So basically, he writes, updated preliminary voting results are attached and summarized below. Broadridge's issuer reporting systems have been down today for all companies, but Broadridge has confirmed that it has not affected their ability to process votes and pass them through the computer share for the official tabulation. However, it does affect D.F. King's ability to analyze the data to determine how specific institutional holders voted. Based on the volume of votes received and the results, we think it appears Vanguard voted in favor but cannot confirm. Then he shows the numbers, and then he goes, based on where we are now, it does not appear, once again, let's read this again. Based on where we are now, it does not appear likely that we will achieve the majority of outstanding necessary to approve the proposal without using the APE proportional voting mechanism. However, with the APE proportional votes, the proposals will pass with about 67% outstanding approving. Let me repeat this. If they didn't implement the proportional votes, this vote would never have happened. So let's repeat again. Let me repeat this again. Based on where we are now, it does not appear, once again, it does not appear likely that we will achieve the majority of outstanding necessary to approve the proposals without using the A proportional voting mechanism. However, with the A proportional votes, the proposal will pass with about 67% of outstanding approving. All right. Now, March 14th, AMC convened the special meeting to vote on the proposed reverse split and conversion of AMC and APE. At the time, there were a little over 517 million shares of eligible shares of AMC companies Class A common, and a little over 929 million eligible AMC preferred equity units were available to vote. On March 14th, 2023, the certificate amendments, air quote, passed the special meeting. Then Aron, let's now read his tweet. Following the March 14th, 2023 special meeting at 1:23 p.m., Aron posted a tweet addressed to AMC stockholders. In this tweet, Aron made the following false and misleading statements. And let's go to his tweet. Here it is, 1:23 p.m., March 14th, and let's read it. Today was a huge step forward for AMC. You voted yes, 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 and it was a landslide. You can't make this shit up. A landslide vote. 88% yes for Proposal 1, 87% yes for Proposal 2, and 87% for Proposal 3. My sincerest thanks for giving AMC the tools we need to continue fighting the good fight on your behalf. Now, mind you, we just read before, a couple minutes before, that Eddie Gladbach telling us, while still overwhelming in favor, the late vote is coming in favor. Oh, hold on. Sorry, not this one. He goes, based on where we are now, it does not appear likely that we will achieve the majority of outstanding necessary to approve the proposals without using the A proportional voting mechanism. So without that, it never would have passed. And yet Aron's tweeting, yes, yes, yes. It was a landslide vote. Unfucking believable. Hold on. All right. And then there's a second part to his email. And here it is. Saving AMC is my professional mission. And remember that I own millions of AMC shares and AMC APE units. So I am very much want for AMC to succeed. I am absolutely and passionately convinced that what you approve today is in the best interest of AMC and all of our shareholders. So what happens now? We cannot implement what you approve today until the litigation in Delaware courts is resolved. The next court hearing on this matter is for April 27, 2023. We will update stockholders when we have additional information. So why was Aron's March 14, 2023 statements, why were they false and misleading? Although the percentage of the votes in favor for the proposals were high, calling the outcome a landslide misrepresents the situation. The vote was significantly impacted by the mirror voting mechanism and the entire transaction, which were crucial in securing the passage of the proposals. Aron failed to disclose the considerable influence of mirrored voting and the entire transaction on the vote's outcome. By omitting this information, he gave a misleading impression of broad shareholder support without acknowledging the structural mechanism that influenced the results. The proposals would not have passed, a fact acknowledged by AMC internally on March 13, 2023 at 5:47 p.m. when Eddie Gladbach drafted an email to Sean Goodman and CC'd Aron, Kevin Connor, and John Merriweather with the subject title Tracking the Vote and incorporating an image 001 ping, an Excel sheet. And this is what I read before. Once again, based on where we are now, it does not appear likely that we will achieve the majority of outstanding necessary to approve the proposal without using the A proportional voting mechanism. However, with the A proportional votes, the proposals all will pass with about 67% of the outstanding approving. Now, vote analysis. Based on AMC Corporate's calculation, the votes for both AMC shares and APE units were combined to determine the final results. Regarding the reverse split proposal vote, AMC reported that out of approximately 929.8 million APE shares, a little over 842 million voted in favor, 80 million voted against, and a little over 6 million abstained. In the case of AMC shares, 128 million voted in favor of the reverse split proposal, while 51 A little over 51 million voted against, and 2.6 million abstained. The majority of AMC shares were not recorded as having voted for this vote. According to the reported results, every APE unit was accounted for, as approximately 63% of the APE shares were voted and recorded on time. AMC Corporate then instructed Computershare to vote the remaining 37% who did not vote on time proportionally in favor of the proposals. All the following steps were necessary for AMC to unlawfully secure their desired outcome in the March 14th, 2023 vote. Combining the total yes votes from AMC and APE shareholders, including the APE votes they sold to Antara in violation of New York Stock Exchange regulations, and then instructing the transfer agent to mirror yes votes, violating DGCL Section 242 by forcing both AMC and APE votes to be held together instead of separately. An audit of the stockholder vote would have enabled an investigation into the raw voting data and vote totals, allowing stockholders to verify their votes were accurately recorded. Numerous shareholders reported discrepancies in the number of votes they received, and they were statistically anomalies in reported results. And this concludes this video and playlist. Thank you very much. If you got to this far, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you didn't, this will be saved as a library. Hopefully more people down the road will see this, because at the end of the day, we got to bring truth to light. Unbelievable what happened. Anyway, I appreciate you all. Have a good day. Bye.